There's a kind of silence that doesn't come from peace, but from absence. The kind that settles in your home after the laughter fades, after the voices you once heard every day become memories. You might wake up one morning, pour yourself a cup of coffee, and realize, it's been days since someone said your name out loud. Not because you're forgotten, but because life, somehow, moved on without asking if you were ready. Loneliness in old age isn't always loud. It doesn't knock on your door or announce its arrival. It creeps in slowly, with every birthday where fewer people call, every evening where the phone stays silent, every holiday where the chair beside you stays empty. But here's something no one told us when we were younger. Growing older doesn't mean growing invisible. And silence doesn't have to be your only companion. Today, we're going to talk about loneliness, not just to understand it, but to gently unravel it. To discover how you can reconnect, rediscover, and reclaim the joy of being alive, even if you're walking this chapter alone. Because your story isn't over. Not even close. So let's begin, together. Understanding loneliness in old age. Let's begin with a simple truth, one that's often whispered in quiet hearts, but rarely spoken out loud. Loneliness isn't just about being alone. It's about something deeper. It's about feeling disconnected, from others, from meaning, from life itself. You can be surrounded by people, and still feel invisible. You can have a full house, with a spouse, children, even grandchildren, and still feel like you're fading into the background of your own life. You can walk through your neighborhood, wave to familiar faces, exchange small talk, and yet feel like no one truly sees you anymore. That's the kind of loneliness that doesn't show up in photographs. But it lingers in long afternoons. It echoes in the sound of a microwave beeping in an empty kitchen. It settles into the silence between a ringing phone, and the moment you realize no one's calling today. Mother Teresa once said, "Loneliness and the feeling of being unwanted is the most terrible poverty." And for many older adults, especially here in America, this kind of poverty isn't about money. It's not about a bank account. It's about the poverty of connection, of being needed, of being remembered. You see, growing old in our society often means growing apart. The world changes fast. Children move across states, or across oceans. Friends pass on. Spouses, the one person who knew your every story, may no longer be here to sit beside you. And even if you're still sharp, still mobile, still independent. Even if you're doing everything right, driving yourself to the store, cooking healthy meals, keeping up with your appointments. There can still be a hollow place inside. A place that craves not just company, but meaningful connection. That kind of connection is more than small talk. It's the feeling of being known. Being valued. Being missed when you're not there. It's the difference between someone asking, "How are you?" and someone really wanting to hear the answer. So no, loneliness isn't just being alone. It's the ache of being emotionally out of reach. It's waking up and feeling like your story is no longer part of anyone else's chapter. But here's the hope. That feeling doesn't have to be permanent. It can change, and you still have time to rewrite the next chapter. Because connection, meaning, belonging, they don't disappear with age. Sometimes, they're just waiting for us to reach back. And here's something we often forget, or maybe we just don't talk about enough. Loneliness doesn't only weigh on your heart. It takes a toll on your body too. It's not just a feeling, it's a physical condition. One that slowly, quietly chips away at your well-being. Research shows that chronic loneliness in older adults is linked to higher risks of depression, memory loss, cognitive decline, and even heart disease. It can weaken your immune system, increase inflammation, and make it harder for your body to fight off illness. In some studies, loneliness has been shown to be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So no, this silence isn't harmless. It doesn't just echo in the room. It erodes. It wears away at your spirit, your energy, and your health. But there's something we need to remember, something hopeful, something powerful. Loneliness isn't a life sentence. It's not a permanent label. It's a signal, like a gentle knock on the door of your heart, telling you, hey, something's missing. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not a personal failure. And it absolutely does not mean you're broken. It means you're human. Beautifully, wonderfully human. Because as human beings, we're not meant to live in isolation. We are wired to connect, to belong, to love and be loved. So if you feel lonely, don't blame yourself. Don't bury it. Listen to what that feeling is telling you. It's saying, you were made to connect. Not just exist, but to feel seen. To feel heard. To feel loved. And the good news? That connection is still possible. No matter your age. No matter how long it's been. No matter how quiet the days have become. It's never too late to reach, and be reached in return. Building real connection again, even if you think it's too late. Let's be honest. When you've lived through 7 or 8 decades, you've raised children, worked hard, paid your dues, and watched the world change again and again. It's no surprise that things feel quieter now. Friends move away. Some pass on. The family that used to gather every Sunday now lives states away, busy with their own lives. The phone used to ring off the hook. Now it's mostly robocalls and doctor appointments. You find yourself making dinner for one. Turning on the TV just to fill the silence. And after a while, you stop expecting anyone to knock at the door. In that quiet, a whisper starts to creep in. Not from your heart, but from fear. It's too late. Too late to make new friends. Too late to start something different. Too late for someone to really care about what you have to say. But listen closely. That voice is lying. Because connection doesn't keep score of your age. It doesn't care if you're 27 or 77. It doesn't care how many years have passed since your last real conversation. Connection is still possible. And it can begin with something as small as a smile. A hello. A shared story over coffee with someone you never expected to meet. You don't need to have shared childhoods, or the same favorite music, or a long history to matter to someone. You just need to show up, as you are. One genuine conversation. One walk with someone who listens. One neighbor who waves and stops to talk for 5 minutes. That's how it starts. And sometimes, just one new connection is all it takes to bring color back into your days. So no, it's not too late. It's never too late. Not for friendship. Not for belonging. Not for joy. Take Ruth, for example. She's 76 years old, widowed, and had spent many years living quietly, going through the motions, caring for her garden, watching television alone. One day, while passing the community bulletin board at her local library, she noticed a flyer. Beginner art class, no experience needed. Ruth hadn't picked up a paintbrush since grade school. But something about the words, no experience needed, gave her courage. So she showed up. And she kept showing up. Week by week, she began painting, not masterpieces, but memories, little windows into her world. And sitting beside her at those paint-splattered tables were others like her, a retired teacher, a former nurse, a quiet gentleman who loved birds. They laughed. They shared stories. They encouraged each other. And slowly, Ruth found something she didn't even realize she was missing, a sense of belonging. Now, every Tuesday, she meets her new friends for lunch before class. They celebrate birthdays. They call when someone's sick. They've become more than classmates, they're her community. Here's the thing. You don't need a best friend of 50 years to feel close to someone. You just need a reason to show up, and a heart open enough to stay. So whether it's a book club, a senior center, a Tai Chi class, a volunteer group, or a nature walk, say yes. Yes to trying. Yes to showing up. Yes to letting someone new into your life. Keep your mind active, deep connection with yourself. As we grow older, the world around us often grows quieter. The bustling noise of daily life, work, social gatherings, family celebrations, may fade away, leaving us with more moments of silence than before. Sometimes, the loudest noise we experience is the silence inside our own minds. But here's a truth that's easy to overlook, that silence doesn't have to be empty or lonely. In fact, it can be a doorway, a special gateway, leading us into a deeper connection with ourselves. It's an invitation to listen, to reflect, and to discover the rich inner life that has been with us all along. Simple activities like reading a book, writing down your thoughts in a journal, listening to a thoughtful podcast, or learning something new aren't just ways to fill time or distract ourselves from loneliness. They are powerful tools that keep our minds vibrant, curious, and alive. They challenge us, inspire us, and open up new worlds, even from the comfort of our own home. Imagine turning these quiet, seemingly empty moments into a wellspring of wisdom and creativity. Think of the quiet hours you spend reflecting on your life. These moments are precious. Writing your life story, sharing your experiences in a blog, or even composing letters to your children and grandchildren are not just tasks, they are gifts. These acts transform silence into legacy, turning the quiet into something meaningful that will live on long after words are spoken. By embracing this silence and filling it with creativity and reflection, you create something beautiful, a bridge between your past and the future, a connection that transcends time and keeps your spirit alive and vibrant. Take Carl, for example. At 80 years old, an age when many might feel it's too late to start something new, Carl began a remarkable journey. He started recording his memories of the war, not just facts or dates, but vivid stories filled with lessons learned, deep emotions, and reflections on the challenges he faced. These recordings became more than just a personal project, they turned into a living history for his family. Through his voice, his children and grandchildren could hear the echoes of a time they never experienced firsthand. They gained insight into the man behind the stories, his fears, hopes, resilience, and the values that shaped him. What Carl created was a bridge, connecting his past with the present, and linking generations together. In sharing his memories, he wasn't just preserving history, he was giving his family a precious gift, a deeper understanding of who he was, and a sense of belonging rooted in shared heritage. His recordings became a source of comfort and pride, a way for his loved ones to feel close to him even when he wasn't physically present. Carl showed that no matter your age, your stories and your voice matter, they have the power to connect, heal, and inspire. Silence is not your enemy. Although quiet moments can sometimes feel heavy or lonely, they don't have to be something to fear or avoid. When used well, silence becomes a powerful space, a sanctuary for growth, reflection, and healing. It's in these peaceful pauses that you can gently turn your attention inward, nurturing your inner world with the same care and love you give to your outer life. You can explore your thoughts, emotions, memories, and dreams, giving yourself room to understand and accept who you are at this moment. By keeping your mind active through reading, writing, learning, or simply reflecting, you deepen your connection with yourself. This connection is vital. It forms the foundation for every other relationship in your life. When you know yourself, you bring your true self to others, creating authentic and meaningful bonds. So, embrace the silence. Let it be a friend that supports your journey, strengthens your spirit, and helps you find peace within. Mindfulness practice, healing from within. One of the gentlest yet most powerful ways to heal the ache of loneliness is through mindfulness, the simple practice of being fully present with yourself, right here and right now. Mindfulness isn't about doing anything complicated or needing to spend hours in meditation. It's accessible to everyone, at any age. Even just a few moments each day spent focusing on your breath can bring surprising peace and calm to a restless or heavy heart. If you're new to this, here's a gentle way to begin. Find a quiet and comfortable place to sit, maybe your favorite chair by the window or a cozy corner where you feel safe. You can close your eyes if that feels good, or simply soften your gaze. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Feel your lungs expand fully, like filling a balloon with fresh air. Hold that breath just for a second, then slowly breathe out through your mouth, letting go of any tension, worry, or heaviness you may be carrying. Now, bring your full attention to your breathing. Notice the natural rise and fall, the gentle rhythm that never stops. Your mind may wander to memories, worries, or plans. That's completely normal. When you notice this, simply and kindly bring your focus back to your breath, without judging yourself or feeling frustrated. This simple, mindful breathing practice helps you reconnect with your inner self, offering a soothing balm to feelings of loneliness or emptiness. It gently reminds you that you are enough just as you are, whole, valuable, and deserving of kindness from yourself. By regularly returning to this calm awareness, you create a sacred space within, a refuge of peace that you can carry with you throughout your day and your life. As the Buddha beautifully said, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." This simple but profound truth reminds us that self-love is not selfish or indulgent, it is necessary. When you learn to be fully present with yourself, to sit with your own quiet moments without fear, judgment, or resistance, you begin to enter a new phase of spiritual maturity. This is a healing journey from within, one where solitude is transformed from something lonely or scary into a wellspring of strength, compassion, and peace. Rather than feeling isolated, you start to experience being comfortably alone, fully at ease in your own presence. Mindfulness teaches us that the foundation of all true connection starts inside. When you love and honor yourself, you cultivate a deep well of acceptance and kindness that naturally flows outward. This inner connection opens the door to richer, more meaningful relationships with others, relationships based not on dependency or need, but on genuine respect, empathy, and shared joy. In this way, mindfulness helps us transform loneliness into a profound source of inner growth and connection, a gift that enriches both our own lives and the lives of those around us. Connect with the world through kindness. One of the most beautiful and meaningful ways to soften the edges of loneliness is by reaching out to the world through small acts of kindness, simple, heartfelt gestures that carry a powerful impact far beyond their size. Every day, no matter how quiet or routine it may feel, holds the opportunity to bring a little light into someone else's life. And in doing so, you ignite a spark within yourself, too, a warmth and joy that comes from knowing you've made a positive difference. These acts don't have to be grand or complicated. Sometimes, the smallest things carry the deepest meaning. A phone call to an old friend just to check in, letting them know they are remembered. Sending a handwritten card with a thoughtful message to someone who might be feeling lonely or isolated. Taking care of a pet that depends on your love and attention, offering companionship in return. Or planting flowers, herbs, or vegetables to share with neighbors, creating a little oasis of beauty and life around you. These moments of kindness create invisible threads that connect you to others and to the world. Think of it this way: the light you shine for others, that gentle kindness, that simple outreach, is the same light that warms your own heart. When you give love and care, you receive it back, often in ways you least expect. By sharing these small acts of goodness, you build a bridge out of silence and loneliness, a bridge that leads to connection, belonging, and renewed purpose. Take the story of a sweet elderly woman from Texas. Every single month, without fail, she sits down with pen and paper to write handwritten cards filled with warm wishes, kind thoughts, and gentle encouragement. What makes her story truly special is that these cards are not for family or close friends, they're for strangers she has never met. People she might never meet in her lifetime. At first, she sent out these cards with quiet hope, just a small effort to spread a little kindness into the world. But what happened next was remarkable. Slowly, letters began to arrive in her mailbox, hundreds of them over time. Letters from people across the country, thanking her, sharing their own stories, and expressing friendship and gratitude. Some wrote about how a single card from her lifted their spirits on a difficult day. Others said her gesture made them feel less alone. Her simple act of kindness created a ripple effect, a chain of connection that reached far beyond what she could have imagined. This story reminds us all of a profound truth: even the smallest, simplest gestures have the power to break through the quiet walls of silence and loneliness. They weave invisible threads of community, belonging, and love that touch lives in deep and lasting ways. So, no matter how old you are or what your circumstances might be, remember this. Reaching out with kindness, whether it's a phone call, a smile, a note, or a helping hand, is one of the most powerful ways to feel seen, valued, and deeply connected to the world around you. Old age isn't the quiet, lonely end of a story, it's the richest, most meaningful chapter yet. It's the time to slow down, shed the masks, and live with honesty, grace, and peace that only life's seasons can teach. Loneliness may visit like a shadow, but it never has to take residence in your heart. And silence? It can transform into the sweetest song when you learn to listen to the beat of your own soul. So don't let silence swallow you whole. Instead, let your heart become a sanctuary where the voices of love, joy, and connection rise and resound, a place where life's beautiful symphony plays on. You have an ocean of stories, wisdom, and love still waiting to be shared. And the world, your world, still needs your light, your laughter, your very presence. Just as you are, right now.